Hello everyone, welcome to Crowdfunding Countdown. We're going to take a look at every single board game campaign, finishing up in the next week. And this week is going to probably be pretty quick. I have a lot of tabs open, and I think I'm probably going to cut like half of them. And we have a bunch of people who are still using the $1 pre-pledge, so they're still not going to get free coverage from me. Even if I've met them as a person, and I think they're a nice person. I'm very sorry, but that's just the stance that this channel is taking, and I'm always going to highlight which ones use it. There's a great Board Game Geek list by Vault Boy in the description down below if you want to vote with your wallet and make sure that this practice dies a horrible death, like all of my relationships, because I refuse to back down. But before we do, I want to give a huge shout out to my newest patron, Joseph. Thank you so much for jumping on board, supporting the channel as always. Thank you to everybody who supports the channel, signs up for Patreon, or does one-time donations, or transfers me 600,000 Canadian dollars so that I can purchase my grandmother's house. It's not a Happy Gilmore story. She passed away in February, but it literally just got listed on the market, and I'm very sad that I'm poor. So in case there are any millionaires out there, here's hoping. But if not, thanks to everybody who supports the channel. Like, seriously, you're all an incredible community. I love hanging around with you. Even you. Yes, even you. And I just really appreciate everybody constantly supporting the channel. You make this thing kind of possible and absolutely worth doing. And I love you all so much. So let's get into this, what will probably be just a horrid, horrid week. I don't know if I was muted that whole time. If I was, I'll find out in the edit bay. And you'll understand why I'm turning slowly into a Sith Lord. Or maybe you won't. Maybe I'll never mention it. Okay, so this is a game where you throw nuclear bombs at each other and try to wipe out humanity. Honestly, we had it coming. Perfect. If you're outdoors when the A-bomb explodes, duck behind a wall or a doorway. Don't look at the bomb. Duck and cover. The 50th anniversary edition of Nuclear War. It's still around. On a player's turn, you draw a card, slide the cards on their launch track forward to place a new card on the launch track. Flip the first card to the launch track. There can be 3 types of cards: propaganda, delivery systems, and warheads. Propaganda is great for stealing population from your enemies. You're like, hey, come on over. We've got a lovely city that certainly isn't about to be bombed. Delivery system is bombing. Very similar to the US Postal Service, if you trust anything I see in Facebook groups about people getting their little dings and dents. And then warheads are rated in megatonnage. So, you know, explodes. Oh, no, that's the bombing. All right. Very similar. Nah, you missed it. When you run out of populations, you're limited. You get a final strike. Cool. So it's a big old take that card game. I mean, if you felt excited about a theme of nuclear war, you could get this for the low price of 51 United States dollars. So there's that. Yeah, I think that's fine. We're moving on, which is Wednesday, June 26th at 6 p.m. See, I told you it would be a quick one. I imagine they are all like this. I'm barely joking. No, there are 2. There are potentially 2. That could be good. But I'm not going to tell you if we've hit those yet or not. We've hit both. We've hit both. It was nuclear war and nuclear destruction. But we're going to look at this one, Oishii Food Stall Clash, the delightful card-based tabletop game for lovers of Japanese cuisine and kawaii charm. Kawaii. Oishii. Well, that's very cute, you're right. Look, they're having such a party. Well, yes, very adorable. I hope there's a game here. That's 26, though. That's always going to be too much for me, but still, I think it's very cute. And also, the creator, she says, I'm an artist, and it took me 6 months to draw this. I'm like, yeah, fair. I'm still working on drawing a picture of our family dog in a way that will finally make my parents happy, and unfortunately, Baxter has not been around for a while. Baxter and Morgan, they were good dogs. Really hard to sketch, though, now. Okay, Oishii players each manage their own food stall, crafting delicious menus. So you each have a different one, which has a different little power. These creatures, these guests want specific things, and each of the cards will have sets, and it seems like you're trying to arrange these in a proper order of things connecting with each other, so to complement, like, the flavor palette, essentially. Choose your food stall. Unique power. If you play a card that matches your stall, playing seafood ramen while owning a ramen stall, you activate its power. Step 2, craft delicious menus. On your turn, you can either explore new menus by drawing random food cards, or cook the food by playing cards to your deck. To your deck, or probably just to the table. You can play a single card or a linked group of cards as indicated by each food. And so guests will come up. Wonder how the guests are decided. It doesn't matter. Like, really? It doesn't matter. You get the picture. There's a core rules summary. More details in the rulebook. Do you have the rulebook? Oh, tell me you got the rulebook. If there's more details. I want to know those details. Honestly, these drawings are exceptionally cute, though. Wish the rulebook was on the page. You can get it in the US delivered for $7, though. So $33. It's potential. I mean, I think there is potentially like a game there. I think a lot of these, you don't get much of a game, and I think the comparisons to Sushi Go are probably pretty apt. But for me in Canada, it's $50 US, like $70, and it doesn't matter how cute you are. It's unfortunately a no-go for me. But if you're interested in that, it finishes Wednesday, June 26th at 10:33 p.m. Let's keep it moving to this one. Market Mayhem, the action-packed stock trading game. Market Mayhem mixes finance basics with fun gameplay. I highly doubt it does either of those things, but we gotta look to find out. You know, I try not to judge a book by its cover, because if I did, I would be the largest hypocrite, since my father was a book cover. Okay, so this is a game about rolling and moving, where if somebody rolls on a market space, then they roll a dice and they say, oh, will those stocks go up or down? So just run around the board and be like, should I buy this stock? I don't know. Is GME going to continue to rise? Are we going to hold the line? I guess we'll roll the dice and find out. So pretty much like real stock market trading, at least if you're a plebeian like me, and not a multi-millionaire like Roaring Kitty. Nice price, $35, free shipping across the US. There you go, that's nice. Unfortunately, I don't think the game is going to be interesting whatsoever. It's just so hard to make roll and move interesting in this day and age, right? When we have so many other diverse and exciting options, having a game that has rolling and moving, I think it's one of those mechanics that should die a horrible and painful death, like all of my relationships. But at least you only do 4 laps of this thing. Well, I guess you're only moving one piece as well, so it's not as inherently random, because you can see when it's past a certain stock, and then you can buy that stock, but then that stock's not really going to move up or down, so you can just hope that it moves up. But you're still hoping by the roll of the dice if it's going to move up or not, so like, where's the strategy? This is what I said, but I think we're going to get to maybe a good one in like 7. So stay tuned. Okay, let's keep it moving. Should I just cut these? Should I just be like, hey, this one doesn't look good, we're moving on? I feel like that's just unfair, because I have impeccable taste, but some of you don't, like all my past relationships. And you just may want to learn about it. So let's look at this one. Bunny Boom is a strategic game of bunny infestation. Manage actions, place cards, and pass the bunnies to your opponents to end the game with the fewest bunnies. It's old maid bunny. Old maid bunny. Strategic game. Manage actions, place cards. Well, we already said that. Are you ready for one of the cutest rabbit games? They're all cute. You show me a rabbit that's not cute, and I'll show you a hare. All right, how to play. You place a card from your hand, and you activate the play effect of the card. So every card has a play effect, which is on the left. And then you move your villager to your card, and you activate the movement of that card. So the movement ability being on the right. And then you add bunnies to your home, and the player with the fewest bunnies wins the game. So you want to get rid of these cards, and there's a flood action, though. What about the flood action? I need to know the flood action. Yes, thank you for the rulebook. Place the central tile in the central. I see. Move your village card to the card you just played. You must move orthogonally as you cross each card in between, activate its movement effects. So it matters where your villager is. I really do like that. All right. If the card you just played has the river effect, now select one of the cards in the river that has a river effect. Immediately activate this river effect, then discard the card. Well, where's the river? That seems to be all on land. Oh, the river's along here. There's a little diagonal line alongside the river, I'm assuming. I really like that you have to activate the movement effect of everywhere you go, because they all have bunnies on them. So you want to move the least amount, essentially. So you first have to place these cards out, although it feels like everybody's just going to place in one single line, right? I'm just going to place there, and then I'm going to want to move the fewest, and so I'll go there, and that's what everybody will do since there's 4 directions for 4 players. But then the second phase, you can play cards on top of other things. Oh, each also has a spot, only one spot where you can play them. Okay, because those open spaces. Oh, no, if you don't match the suit of the card below it, then you have to add bunnies equal to that value. So that's pretty huge. So, okay, I like that. It determines, then that'll determine sort of shortest path, etc., etc. If the card you played matches the suit of the card you're playing on top of, the space is now closed and no other cards can be played there. The movement effects continue to activate. And that's just a bunch of Andrew Bosley art. I mean, yeah, very cute. Yeah, so every card you have essentially is horrible for you. And you're trying to have the least horrible time of everyone involved. Kind of like all my past relationships. Yeah, this seems kind of fun. Certainly not 70 for the all-in, but what's the base pledge? 52? What's shipping? Shipping to Canada is 15. Ooh, I do like this as a stretch goal, though. All backers get a $2 discount off of shipping. Oh, I need to move quicker. Group pledge shipping is much cheaper in the US, not in Canada. Yeah, it's not really something that I would ever seriously consider. Again, this would be like an $80 game. It's a problem with crowdfunding, right? Like, the retail kind of sets the standard of how much you want to pay for a certain style of game. And this is a style of game that it's just a bunch of cards and some bunnies that are cute, but it's not something that I want to play a ton of. Definitely looks cute, though. Happy it's I don't think they've made any money on this, you know? I think Andrew Bosley has made some money, and good for him. But I don't think they have. I don't think there's any money being made there, which I feel bad for them. I was going to say good for funding, but maybe not good for funding. Who knows? But there's only 3 days left, so they're probably not canceling. That finishes the 27th at 1 a.m. Let's cut some stuff. I'm tired of bad things. Although that one had potential, right? Like, that one currently has potential. But let's see what this one even is, and I'll get back to you. Dang, another artist who's making their own game. I mean, the art in here is stunning. This is all hand-painted. That's so cool. $28 for a playmat to a game that if you're just backing that tier, you're not going to play the game on. Although I think it's just a big old playmat, right? 14 by 24. No. Frontiersman, $55 for 129 cards. Collect rare specimens, secure favors from the locals, deploy maneuver cards to benefit yourself or sabotage opponents. Yeah, take that, Oishii. This has been over the last year. Past several years. Gameplay synopsis. Yeah, set collection is what it basically is. Take that, okay. Simultaneous action. 3 expedition rounds. Players simultaneously reveal their chosen route. Are you going to go to the hub, or are you going to go to the void? So you choose hub or void. The more players, the void is over here. There's a set number of cards. Okay, kind of ink and gold like. The fewer cards each player will receive. Where will you go? Are you going to go to gain cards? Is everybody going to go gain cards? And then you're going to go to the town. So there's a nice little balance there. Specimens, you're going to be creating sets with them. What can you do when you go to the other spot, though? Gain favors from the locals to use later. Wish we could see an example of that. After you have 3 rounds, then a marker will happen, maybe Biblios-like. There's no full... So it's $17 to ship to Canada. It's in the drop-down menu. $12 to ship to the US. So it's $67 for something that is close to ink and gold. Ink and gold with set collection, a little bit. Ink and gold meets Biblios. I mean, I do like the art a lot. I think it's very eerie. It is what it is. We're moving on. That's Thursday, June 27th at 10 a.m. Galactic Shogun is the next one. A social deduction board game. You had me at social deduction. Ninjas in space? I said you had me at social deduction. Say no more. Okay. Jesus. Oh no. Let's check it out. I do love seeing people create games, though. Like, it is nice. I don't love seeing them make you pay $10 pledge manager access. It's horrid. It's horrid to me. Oh, based in Toronto. Look at that. Hey, $29 Canadian. That's like 22 US. The whole premise is everybody has a role. You're trying to kill one specific role, and you're swapping cards around until somebody dies. Basically, you can swap roles, you can swap cards. Don't quite see what the point of a card that just starts the round is, but I guess the round's got to start sometime. Yeah, so if you're the Galactic Shogun, you win if all play cards have been played. You're the Star Protectorate, you win if the Galactic Shogun wins. You're the Ascendants, you win if the Laser Katana of Judgment reveals you, so you're the Tanner. Or Space Ninjas win if the Laser Katana of Judgment successfully reveals the Galactic Shogun. I could get into this. There's only 32 cards, so it's like a round it's a round of the game, right? Like I see it being potentially slower. I don't know how many cards you draw. Yeah, once all play cards are played, so you probably deal them all out, right? Let's zoom in on this. Number of players. Okay, there's 4. Does this add up to 16? Probably. Yeah, so each player gets 4 cards in their hand. Okay, so kind of like Night of the Ninja-esque, I would attribute this to. I think this has potential. I like that it's potentially pretty quick. I like that there are cards that are going to be like swapping. You're going to see how many cards are played, what cards people are holding on to. People are going to hold on to the katana until the very last minute, unless they just play it at the very beginning and decide to lose, or take a random stab at it, no pun intended. Why? They're doing holographic cards? What? That's stupid. Pretty friggin' dumb. Especially when it's not even a CCG. What's shipping like? USA 5 to 10, Canada 8 to 12, but I bet I could get local pickup. But let's assume you're not me, because you're you and you're better than me. So in the US, $5, so 27. Standard for a card game. I think this has some potential. I don't know if it would dethrone the mainstays like Coup, Love Letter, and Bang. Well, it would probably be better. I imagine this being on the same par as Bang, which is fine. So if you're interested in that, the finish is June 27th at 12 p.m. Let's keep it moving. Well, I wasn't going to cover this one if there wasn't a rule book, but there is, so fine. You got me this time, Reservoir Cubes. This is Reservoir Cubes. It's a 20 moves heist. There's this print and play. Here's the heists that you want to go on. You have to always move in one direction. And then you're going to roll the cubes, or you can just use an app which tells you essentially how much they get to move. You want to open all the safes while keeping your gang's stress down. You can't zigzag, so you always have to go in a direction. Basically, you have to move the most. Get keys to open locks, get the stuff, empty the safes, get to the specific spots. Yeah, it could be fun. If you like print and plays, check it out. I don't know why I'm still looking at this. Oh, come on. We have to edit this. That finishes Thursday, June 27th at 6:59. We're moving on to Okinawa, the last battle of World War II in the Solo Game of the Month series. I've thought most of these solo games of the month looked pretty good, so I'm excited to check this one out and see what's up. You're on Okinawa. It's the last battle of World War II. Lead your soldiers to victory using dice to activate and upgrade actions on your rondel. Yuck. As you capture objectives, defeat the enemy, and save the day. I just am so bad at anything with the rondel. So like all good people, I stay away and don't try to get better at the things I'm poor at. I'm good at what I'm good at, and that's it. So your cards can determine your actions. Use your dice to move and activate action cards. Then you can upgrade your actions by flipping things over and defeat enemies to complete objectives by adding damage to them. Capture the final objective before time runs out to win the game. Download the rulebook. Let's look at it. Just look at it. Oh, why do you do this? Oh, it's just because you're running around the battlefield. You're doing laps around the battlefield. You're deciding how much you're moving. But it's not quite roll and move. Well, it is roll and move, but it's roll 3 dice and move. So you got at least a choice, which I don't mind. I don't mind some randomness. I just like having a choice. So there's a limit to how many times you can move around to complete your objective. There's a number of soldiers on there. Hacksaw Ridge. I did the audiobook for that. That's true. There are certain enemies that you have to face. There are unknown enemies that you have to face. There's a number of action dice that you'll roll each turn. Okay, so you get to roll five dice. And then there's a scenario card. Here's what you can do. You can move or you can activate an action card. As long as you have action dice to spend, you can do as many of these as you want. You can discard any dice you want to use that action. And then if you use sequential dice, like 2, 3, 4, you can use it more than once. I like that, yeah. Decent system. Shows where people will attack. Yeah. Not really my cup of tea, but I think potentially solid. $7 for the print and play, $5 US, which is really nice. Again, really good price, I feel, for these things. 24 and shipping, I remember, is reasonable, 5 and 6. Like, that's a real boon. Like, Gabe Barrett, I don't think has missed. Maybe missed once. Generally, and as a non-solo player, I think these look interesting. So worthwhile checking out for sure if you like solo games. It finishes the 28th at 1 a.m., moving along to the Dixits. Well, no, we're not, because it used the $1 pre-pledge. So nothing of value here. Not that we could assume that there's much of value from the title. I cut a war game because I'm not good at looking at war game rule books. Let's just be real. Let's be real. It was the one that you saw. Bad Plumbing is our next one, the balance game. It's just going to be a dexterity sort of game. Let's see if this is potentially fun. I don't know. I mean, if there's one way to get me interested in your game, it is this way. It is this way. That cat is doing a very poor job. Really, just a very, very poor job. You need to step it up, Whiskers. That is the most tolerant cat in the world. Oh, well done. Well done. Oh, and you can just get STLs for $10. Yeah, printed a bunch of plumbing stuff. Or you can get it for $30, 42. This is the same game as Hamster Roll. Hamster Roll, you're placing a thing. If they all fall off, you have to put that in your pile. The person to get rid of all of your things first wins. Really nice campaign. Oh, except, come on. What's your shipping? Is it in here? Yeah, it's in here. Okay. So Canada is $20, putting up to 50 US. United States is $10. So it'd be about 40 bucks US if you like these sort of dexterity games. I enjoy these dexterity games. I also find that I don't ever really reach for them. It's tough that I reach for them in rare circumstances, but if you do, like, I don't know, a dexterity game can be fun, right? I played one with West when he was over, when we were filming the Rove playthrough. We hung out, we played a few games afterwards. We played Life in Reterra and Unfair and Woozles. I think it was called the Woozles. It was just like little friggin' sticky things that you're trying to build into a Jenga tower. Like, they're fun games. Dexterity games are fun games. Hamster Roll is fun, and I think this would be equally fun. So yeah, real potential here. If you like that sort of thing, that finishes Friday, June 28th at 10:50 a.m. Moving along to Wastelandia, a co-op and solo boss battler. No, we're not, because this one also did the $5 pre-pledge. They went for a $5 pre-pledge, which got you some dice trays, I think it was. Now, I don't know if you could have just gotten the dice trays without pledging. Let's see if that's an FAQ. Doesn't say, but yeah, we're not covering this whatsoever. It's too bad because they've emailed me a couple times, and I was like, yeah, I'll check it out on Crowdfunding Countdown. And then I found out that they did pre-pledge. So unfortunately, like, I don't know why people are still following this inane pre-pledging idea when you can look at smaller creators and you can see that it doesn't work. This goal was 25,000. They've made 30,000. And if they paid 10,000 for marketing, where does that leave you? Nowhere, right? If you don't have an already established base of people who are going to support you, then they're not going to pre-pledge, and they're not going to purchase that thing in advance. And what you're paying for is just an inflated sense of numbers and exceptions to the rule, or things that worked once before the wool was unpulled over your eyes, was revealed your eyes, right? Like, it's just creators who are going to get burned. And I don't know why this practice is still continuing, but hopefully it will stop and people can figure out a different way or a different psychological trick to take money from you. But let's move on to a very cute thing that I know some people are excited about because it's so cute. Apothebakery. I'm quite interested in checking this out because I know it's raised almost $1 million Canadian. That can't be wrong, right? I'm sure it can't be wrong. I'm sure it'll be a beautiful, amazing game. Let's see. As far as I know, this one didn't do the $1 pre-pledge, and look at the success, right? Is it the secret sauce to end all your woes? It is not. That's what I'm trying to hammer home here. Because you can just give the FOMO here with this free micro expansion. How to play. Let's check it out. You've got 3 phases. You have to forage, you have to provide alchemy, and you have to heal. You're doing this over the course of a day. You want to heal all the adventurers that you can so that they give you a good score on Yelp or DALP, Dungeon, whatever the rest of that. It's not an acronym. You have some fories that'll help you out, different than furries because there's an O instead of a U and a me. That'll tell you how much stamina you have and the order in which you can gather resources, which you're going to flip up. So deal of randomness there, surprise, excitement. What did you come up with? Then you can use your alchemy station to extract elixir from foraged resources. Okay, I want to know how that works. You're going to be drawing things out of a bag. Sometimes you'll then have various effects on these things. And then phase 3 healing, you heal the adventurers from the clutches of death so they don't turn into ghosts and haunt you forever. All right, let's check out this rule book because I want to know more about turning this foraging into stuff. There's just going to be a lot of randomness here. Your fories, you draw 3 fory egg cards into your hand. You flip them so that you view your availability. So your stamina is just all random. And then the wilderness cards. you're going to flip this over to reveal things, but you don't know what they are. Oh, okay. You have the option to play all 3 of your cards or a minimum of 1. So you could just play 1, but I don't know why you would. Do they have negative effects? Stamina species, maybe because it's really going to be because the species gives you a discount. So if there are none of those things, then you can save them. But that's pretty much it. So you have like some slight knowledge, but yeah, not enough for my liking. Okay, alchemy. What's this one going to be about? Then you draw the stuff randomly for a pure elixir, an impure elixir, or a failed elixir. But those are also drawn random. It's just like everything is random here, like the song. Everything is random, but you don't care because it's really cute. Everything is random. You can use your alchemy station by spending 1 mana for the first ability, and then 2 mana to use another one. You can get rid of stuff that you've drawn, or you can make it more potent. And then phase 3 healing. Bake me a cake as fast as you can. You get more reputation for healing those who are on death's door. Oh, as a token of appreciation, the healed customer sends you with a spell sphere. Adventures offer different spell sphere options ranging from 1 to 3 choices. To determine how many spells you have to choose from, refer to the number indicated at the bottom of the healed adventurer card. Oh, well, at least you get to see that. That's one thing that you actually have knowledge of. but otherwise, you don't. And if you're drawing 1 card, you don't use your sprites, you're like, nah. I just put them back on the top of the deck. So if they were bad sprites, you must use them, but you could wait to use them. I'm very disappointed. This doesn't seem... Oh, 49 pounds, 85? Come on. I wish I was really looking forward to this. And I don't think it's going to be good at all. That finishes... shipping to the US, 25 to 29. Shipping to Canada, 28 to 33. Expensive shipping costs, expensive cost. I mean, I'm thrilled that as a first-time creator, it's resonated with so many people. I have to assume that those people don't mind randomness like I do. Or if they do, they never read the rulebook. But that finishes Friday, June 28th at 4 p.m. Let's keep it moving to Micro Moonshine. Build an empire of forbidden spirits navigating dangerous world of illegal liquor production and distribution in the United States. Okay. All right. Hire people to be efficient or get bootleggers to be less efficient. I like that this is a company trying to take on the Tiny Epic games. It seems what they're trying to take on. I like the theme of this. Card drafting. Special actions, unique abilities. You're going to draft the stuff. Okay. Go off, Micro Moonshine. And by that, I mean, show me what you got. It'll be €25 for this. You can flip them. I see. Draft workers and pay for them. Or if you hate drafting, then you just flip them. Pick 2 ingredients from the market. So like distilled or all ingredients of one type. Okay. Use your workers to go to city locations. You flip it over when you use it, and you spend the ingredients that you've used. You can use the worker special action, then you can use it as bootlegger, okay. Fulfill contracts to gain points. So you're collecting resources, trying to spend them effectively. Use special actions to gain points. Oh, there you go, okay. Bottles, barrels, and clean money. Score for points for contracts. Bottles, barrels, and clean money. On the rulebook, yeah. I think this looks quite nice so far. I hope it's good. I don't know if there's much else that I need to know. Just the type of stuff. The cost, you can take workers, you can affect other players. Okay, you can fulfill either side as well to get the points of either side, but I think they seem to be the same. And then some of these have action icons, which allows you to save money when you're doing it. How many crew members are there? 45, so you're not going to deal them all out. I was wondering if it was like Inish and they were kind of like that. I like more cards, though. So basically, you want to use the actions of all of your crew, and then you can use them as bootleggers to activate buildings. But if you wait too long to activate the buildings, you may not be able to get the ones that you want. I like that push and pull. Yeah, I think this looks quite nice. I think this will be very solid. Nice. How much is shipping? €5 to Poland. Okay. But what if you're not in Poland? Well, to the EU, €10. United States and Canada, €12. So that will make this like a $50 game for me, $50 Canadian. I mean, it looks pretty good. I might just play distilled, you know, because I have distilled. Not similar mechanically at all, just similar in theme in that you're making alcohol. Yeah, I think this one looks pretty nice. If you're interested in that, the finishes June 28th at 5 p.m. We're moving along to Cysmic. Cysmic, which I am very happy for this creator. that this is funded. This creator spent their entire life savings on this game and essentially went bankrupt, and so now has recouped some of those costs. Don't do that. Do not follow this creator's example. It is a very, very poor decision. No, just no, don't do it. There was a really nice update though, talking about the journey and the cost of crowdfunding. Let's see the joy in the update. Funded in 1,152,660 seconds. That's very funny. You know what? that's very funny. That makes this almost pick of the week territory, except it's still $200. 5 is how exciting? How exciting! You know what? I'm gonna give you a holy cow. That's awesome. But yeah, I highly recommend anybody go and read that, the updates. He's been very open about the economics of producing stuff and the volume of sales and selling things and how much things are actually costing him and which things do not make him money. He says the core tier, in fact, does not make him any money at all. So that's the one that I obviously like because it's the cheapest. And it's still $200 Canadian. Jeez. But hey, look at that. Only pledged 34 times. So good for you. Good for you, board gaming community. See, you know, y'all are nice when you got cash to burn. So let's take a look at how to play Seismic. Some people were saying that they want to play Seismic and How to Save a World, like How to Save a World, and they're like, nah, get them off the planet. I think they're two very different games. A singular Calyx compatible storage system. There you go. There's a Euro mode game to have less conflict. I think there was something. I think it was Seismic the first time it was around in crowdfunding. Somebody was like, man, what do you do when somebody steals your whole idea? I had an idea that people would be escaping from a planet, and now they stole my idea. My game's not doing well because of them. And I thought, well, that's probably not it. But let's look at a lot of this. Oh no, there's so much. Tight thematic integration, that's nice. Lots of asymmetry. Everybody needs blueprints from their opponent to build their colony ships. Capture hostages for the blueprints, negotiate with other players. So there's a way for negotiation. You can use reaction cards when it isn't your turn to gain influence in the game state. Cool. Yeah, good to keep people engaged. Multi-use cards. Fast movement. 127 hexes. But the world of Seismic is quite small. No, it's not. It's gigantic on your table. You're not going to fit it. Oh, but you can pop off one side of the board and pop onto the next one too, so you're always next to each other. I find that hard to track sometimes, but I like when games do it. A planetary cave system allows for even further movement, jumping across the map quickly. These minis have a purpose. Your mini is jumping, so you know your character can jump. Well, I mean, I guess that's fine. High player interaction. All right, let's look at this gameplay summary. Played in 5 rounds, 5 turns per round. Beginning of each round, you hold 10 cards that dictate your action. On a turn, you have to discard 1 command card face down and play 1 command card face up. Okay, I like that additional sacrifice. That's like Kemet. Symbols at the bottom of each command card can provide players access to one of 6 different bonus actions in each command column under that card. I thought maybe you then get to activate stuff off of the ones that you threw away, but I guess not. I will want clarification on that. Each round ends when all players complete 5 turns. Turns continue until one player successfully launches the colony ship. So you have command cards, you have combat, you have miners, you have speakers that control colonies across the map. Miners harvest resources, soldiers fight people. Colony ship destroys everything because it's so big and it deploys stuff. Recruit uses your current influence, upgrade, increase your stats. You want to be like Han and shoot first by playing your battle card. And then negotiate is how you can potentially get blueprints. Okay. Fracture events. Seismic takes place in a world that is suffering massive planet quakes and fractures. The tremor activity meter tracks these events and lets players know when the next fracture will occur. When a fracture is triggered, the active player draws a token from the fracture bag and resolves the token. Up to 6 hexes can collapse in a fracture, even taking units and habitats with them into the abyss. Oh, okay, so it says 4, so that would be the 4th quadrant, and then that line. Maybe, I assume. Oh, tundra. Yeah, in the tundra, then these things collapse. So a bunch of stuff is going to collapse. Hopefully your home base doesn't collapse. Rulebook, yes. This is going to be a lot. Game manual. Give me the better rulebook. I want the better rulebook. I know it's beta. Okay, so you're just putting these here. These are your command icons, so you have the potential of whatever bonus you want, but it slowly gets whittled away as you go on through the game. So you're going to have a bunch of blueprints. When you get those blueprints, you flip them up. That's what this is. These are all the bonus actions you get to take. There's some text that tells you how to launch. Then your faction board is dropped in. And then there's the espionage cards. Whenever you use them, you can put them there, I guess. And then the further you go up, the more people you have, the more crystals you can hold as it goes forward. Okay, that's pretty readable. To win, you have to have a completed colony ship, evacuate all your troops to the reserves, be able to launch by the end of your turn. If you cannot evacuate all of your units, you may choose to roll the humanity die to see if your conscience will allow you to leave those units behind. However, you will face the consequences for this action the next time you play Cysmic. That's kind of fun, because you'll just be ravaged with guilt. How do you complete the objective? I like this. Use speakers to gain influence. Use miners to search for discoveries and mine crystal ore. Use your soldiers to attack and capture enemy units to exchange them for blueprints. And use your colony ship to build multiple modules at a time and evacuate your units. What I would do in Cysmic is I'd be like, hey, who wants to make this a team game? I was like, you want to just trade blueprints right now and we just don't attack each other ever? And they'll be like, yeah. And then there wouldn't be any point to attack anybody. Except you'll still be fighting each other for resources. I would just be like, meh, nah, whoever wants their blueprint, give me yours, give me mine, and then I'll give you mine. Done. Unless I could attack you very easily, then I probably wouldn't do it. I do like this flow of burning a card, playing a card. I think that will be fun. I think it will give you lots of options and lots of AP. Bonus actions will also be fun. Just talking about the moving. Oh, when you move units into a spot with other enemy units, they're locked. And so you basically have to play a combat card if you want to end that lockage. Or you can just move somebody in there and just like lock up their movement as well and force them to combat you. And then you can do something else, which could also be an interesting decision. Combat dice with various strengths. Yeah, I like the randomness of what's going to be destroyed. I think that could add an exciting element to it. I think these discovery cards seem cool. I think there's a lot here that I think I would quite enjoy. It's past the is it a good game test, which not many games pass or have been passing lately. Now it's just, are you going to spend $280 plus shipping? Like, shipping's going to be so expensive as well. Only 25. It's less than I expected, to be honest. But that's just for the core. So the expander, the designer, which most people are getting, right? Like, that's like $330 for what seems to be a decent and probably good area control game. Is it worth that much? Like, is any board game worth that much? Other than like your number one game of all time. I don't know. You know me, I'm cheap, I'm stingy. I gotta save $600,000 to get my grandma's house. But yeah, this looks better than I expected it to be honest. I think it looks pretty decent. So yeah, that one finishes on the 29th at 12 a.m. So the 28th at 11 Eastern. We're moving on. Unfortunately, we're not talking about Fluffy Dragons either, because Fluffy Dragons did the $1 pre-pledge, which is too bad because I played this at Level Up, and now I can't tell you how it was. I won, kicked West's butt, but unfortunately, not going to talk about it. Next up, we have Plutocracy Passengers. I thought Plutocracy looked fun. I remember this looking fun when it was on crowdfunding beforehand. You have these different planets, and I think they're doing the little rotation around the rings. It's a pick up and deliver board game. Yeah, see, they do move in circular orbits. I knew I was right. That's what I remembered. Not too bad. 2,000 games up in here, and I still remember a little bit about them. You lead one of the big trading corporations, travel from planet to planet to buy and sell resources, buy seats in the planetary parliament to influence the planetary council, the plutocratic council. You have to find the best route to transform time into power. And don't forget the societies on Earth. Players who meet the conditions to join them may increase their influence in the plutocratic council as well. So what's new? 30 passenger and favor cards. Basically giving you asymmetric abilities, taking in the feedback of reviewers, which is cool. Cool, there's a little bit of a solo experience that they've built in there in terms of just an efficiency puzzle. What's the complete package? Yeah, the complete package is £38. €38, 56 Canadian. I love this as an expansion. I think that's awesome. It's just a small little deck of cards. That's all they're throwing in there. I think that's fantastic. Just adding that little flavor to the game. Awesome. And 56, that's cheaper than one that I remembered, but I don't know what the shipping is. And, well, dang. Apparently they don't know either, and that's stupid. Oh, no, they do. I take it back. They do. They just didn't put it underneath. Expansion only 3 to Germany, 8 and 13. Oof. So it'd be €20. Again, it hit that $80 or $90 mark for me. And it doesn't excite me enough to pull the trigger on that. However, I do remember thinking it looked good. So if you're interested in a pick up deliver game, check this one out. That finishes June 30th at 6:59 p.m. Moving along, we're going to keep on moving as quickly as we can to finish this up. Dominance. Dominance is a quick game of majorities for 2 to 4 players with the results always hanging in the balance until the end. It's only €19, it's saying. Let's see. It's a fast game. Play it anywhere. Let's go. 3 factions vie to control a region divided into territories. Why are there 4 players? Each faction is represented by a metal coin of a specific color, gold, silver, or bronze. Okay. So they just have different minis and different coins. So you're essentially just getting some minis, some coins, and some hexes. How to play down here. Put a random coin in each hexagon. Players create line of coins in random order on the table. Okay, so you either move or you reinforce by adding another troop. Or you say, let's fight over this thing. You add coins. Faction with the most coins wins. So you flip it over, that has been assigned. I mean, seems fine. You're just getting a bunch of metal coins and buildings to mark who controls what, essentially. Seems okay. I mean, I'm happy that it's raised money. I think that's potentially the right amount for it to make. Just doesn't seem that exciting, personally. But if you are interested in that, it finishes Saturday, June 29th at 9:48 a.m. We're moving on to Vediic. Cosmic strategy game. Explore ancient wisdom by following wandering planets, strategize, compete, donate, and ascend pawns in a dynamic cosmic landscape. Unfortunately, no rulebook on the page. You just have to follow the cosmic forces as these planets move around. You're trying to get your meeples to them. No rulebook on the page, no shipping information. Why should anybody ever get this? Well, not so. Let's see if shipping's added here. It is. And how much is it? A lot. Canada, $50. No, we're moving on. I mean, we're not covering this. I just thought it was a good reminder that you can say anything on crowdfunding. You could say that Kingdom is an instant classic, and then get 0% of your funding goal is what it was listed at. I'm sorry for the makers of Kingdom, but yeah. Let's move on to Lergros, an art auction full of fakes. Ooh, that's exciting. We wanted to make opportunities for people to engage with art, so we've created a card game that can be enjoyed while experiencing art. Well, this has also raised not a lot of money whatsoever, but mind game with masterpieces. It reminds me of that game Masterpiece, and that's why we're looking at it. All right, so there's 10 artwork cards on the table. There's 10 money cards to every player. You select an artwork card, you check the value. They range from fake to 10. Yeah, it's Masterpiece. Then you make a bid. That's it for 26 Canadian plus shipping to all these countries, anywhere. So like 33 Canadian for this. I mean, Masterpiece is a fun game. I think this has potential because it is Masterpiece, but it's basically just Masterpiece. If you're interested in that, it finishes Sunday, June 30th at 12 a.m. We're still moving it along to X, Seekers of Fortune by Elon Musk, an action-packed adventure game. Hunt for lost relics and legendary sites while performing heroic feats to outfox your rivals in this TCG-like strategy card game. My favorite words. I don't see how this has TCG-like strategy. You're collecting symbols or colors, and then you're spending them on objectives. That's all you're doing. I guess the TCG-like strategy is that every card has a different ability, right? You collect seeds to solve adventures. Each adventure is a victory point. Takes 5 points to win. So do 5 adventures. 4 lead types, just the suit. Complete the adventures. Yeah. Perform heroic feats. So do a bunch of take that. Special cards. Cool. Oh, place it in your adventure zone. So only you can complete that. Like that less? Yeah, really dislike that. Why is it not a race? Then comes the action phase. Complete adventures. Play action cards. Or use heroic feats to dash ahead in the race or throw a wrench in your rival's plans. bunch of stuff that you can do. Yeah, rulebook's there. That's great. Cool. Shipping. I mean, $30 is decent, but then it's 16 US shipping, 20 US to Canada. So again, it's 50 US. It's like $77 for a card game that I think I could get the same desires out of Splendor that I would do with this. You know, in terms of chaining that action efficiency together, I guess the cards here have their own powers, but doesn't really jump out to me, unfortunately. But if it jumps out to you, that finishes Monday, July 1st at 1:59 a.m. Two more. This one has to be a joke. I mean, it is based solely off of switching the names of Settlers of Catan to Cattlers of Satan, or Satan. Worship, wrangle, and beef up your empire as you compete to conquer hell itself. I imagine it's just a reskin of Settlers of Catan. That's going to be my guess, but let's see if I'm right. Well, I'm right. 1 second in. This, I think, should be a red flag, though. It's no fault of the creator, but it says, thanks for supporting the project. You have to forgive me if I do not follow the norms. It's my first Kickstarter campaign, so I followed the prompts Kickstarter gave me when setting up, one which was a flat shipping fee. Now, that flat shipping fee is too much. It only ships to the United States. Okay, well, that's fine. That's fine then. If shipping to the US, you're shipping internally using USPS, right? The other cost is factored in. So you can get it in the US if you wanted to, but it's like $100 Canadian for Catan with a little spinner. Still cheaper than the Catan 3D Collector's Edition. So if you wanted to be a Cattler of Satan, that for sure will be sued for copyright infringement at some point, well, you can check this out. Shipping costs would likely 15 to 22. Shipping is limited to addresses within the US. So there you go. Good job. You got a complete blatant reskin of Catan ripoff funded. That finishes Monday, July 1st at 9:49 a.m. And then finally, we have Artefacts. Build your artifact, improve its worth of the arena. Artefacts has been trying to get itself funded for many times now. Good for it. Let's see what it's like. I know I read this at one point in time, or maybe twice in time, and I've forgotten it both times. So let's see if it sticks this time. Yeah, it's a big old jack-of-all-trades style game. You're going to be making these little artifactorums to fight in the Artefactorum. I don't know. There's this little skirmish game in a grid-based combat system that's also extended by this hexagonal thing in the middle. After segment 4 in the rulebook, all segments are optional. Okay, that's a lot of different segments that you can add in. Merchants, transformers, engineers. But you need first steps, first shoots, first constructions, and first tournament. That's what you need to go first. For their first training section, the Artifactor apprentices will have to maneuver the illustrious artifact machines in a 4-round confrontation phase. Take prestige points scattered around the area. Okay, so this is the baby game for babies, and then we can get into the real deal. Can only take 5 actions per round. They're indicated by cubes. Can boost up your movement to make yourself more effective at running around and getting prestige points. Battles are going to be a bit slower because the cannon's going to be activated once per round, so you can't, like, obliterate people, sure. Then you can start to protect your artifact with different slots to do different damage attacks. Okay. There's a bunch of obstacles. You can destroy those. Elemental resistances for the elements that you've added into your attacks. And then we have construction. And then you have a big old tournament. Tournament articulated in succession of phases defined by a calendarium. And you can have these little things that are slotted in that I'm sure you will slot in for more advanced modules of different things that'll happen every round. Or when the marker leaves the last confrontation phase, the tournament is over, and then you count points. Then there's these little modules that are happening in the middle, and then you have this side polyomino board of building things in, just adding more complexities and more ways to manipulate this thing, but it being the core phase of going in and dealing with the big old baddie. The worker placement aspect of it is very much, you don't want to go to somewhere first because people can stomp on you and then drag you around the place. This is the sort of game that I really don't know. It could be trying too hard. Holy crapola, it's 119 euros. Okay, I do know. It is not worth that. I was like, oh, maybe if it's 60 and it's got all this stuff in it. 119 euros? Jeez, like, it's just trying too hard. I wonder in the first one though if they had separated it and they didn't, because I feel like a lot of campaigns try to give like a lot of different offers. Yeah, it was 99 back then, but probably priced it too low, or for economy of scale they had to price it a little bit higher. Yeah, I don't know. It's just not. It's not doing it for me. I'd be willing to give it the benefit of the doubt, but not for 119 euros. No way. But if you're interested in that, hey, I'm very glad that they funded. Congratulations. That finishes Monday, July 1st at 2 p.m. That's it. It looks like I'm crying, but I just got dust in my eye or something like that. That's it. That's it for the week. But every week I do a pick for me and a pick for you. The pick for me being the thing that I'm the most interested in. The pick for you being the thing that I think is fine. So let's start with the crowdfunding grunt down to see what we're going to see. No. Cute. No. Cute. Meh. Yeah. Meh. Yeah. Absolutely not. Garbage. Yeah. Garbage. No. Yeah. Yeah. But then the price, you go, nope. Yeah. Nah. No. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and nah. So with that, I have a pick for me. And I pick for you, and it's the same one. It's Micro Moonshine. Micro Moonshine, I think it looks solid. I think it's got a great price point. I think the drafting will be fun. I think the delivering and fulfilling of objectives, if you like that sort of thing, I think that will be interesting. And I think the flow to it will be nice, and that I think has a lot to do with the idea of drafting and the ability to turn them into just like regular workers if the action doesn't end up working well for you. Mechanically, Cysmic is in the mix. Apothebakery just is absolutely so disappointing to me. And maybe it's, I mean, like going through maybe bad plumbing. Maybe bad plumbing is close, you know what I mean? But I'm just going to leave it as one single pick for me and pick for you, Micro Moonshine. Again, remember, you don't have to buy every crowdfunding game ever. They're on their way. Just be patient and play the ones that you have. That's what I'm going to do. I feel like doing this, and especially in weeks like this, I always get bummed. And I'm always like, man, do I really like games? Have I lost my enthusiasm for games? And then I think about playing all these on the shelf and I get so excited. And then you have that comparison to like what's being offered at the crowdfunding level right now, right? I understand it's tough. I understand crowdfunding is hard. I understand making a game is hard. But unfortunately, and I say this with as much care as I can, that doesn't fall on the consumers. That falls on you, who's creating a product that people do not want to buy. And that's just kind of what it comes down to. But when I look on the shelf and I think about all the fun that I can have, and then I compare it to things that like just seem fine or okay, I don't see the point in getting it. So that's just kind of your reminder. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I need to stop talking right now and edit. But I will say that this thing, you know, it did the exact job that a heating pad does, which is gets warm. Should you spend $200 on that? Absolutely not. But thanks UTK for the freebie, I guess. It's kind of like a soft blanket, and it's got a good area, a surface area. So maybe that's something. I'll give it to my dad, because my dad's back is horrid, and his intestines, and his heart. So he's had surgery on all of them recently. So he could use some heat, I think. I would recommend heat pedal to the metal over that. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. My name is Chris George. I do not have a catchphrase, and I have to edit this right now because I am behind. Goodbye.